Hi, good afternoon. This is Dr. Tanu with Vidya again, and today we are going to take up a topic called life cycle hypothesis. When we are talking about this hypothesis, what is it that makes it more important than any other hypothesis, or what is there into this hypothesis which makes it different from others? Since we've already covered permanent income hypothesis or relative income hypothesis and few others, what is that makes it different from others? First, of course, it is given by another economist with the name Modigliani. And what makes it different from others is here we are going to talk about the entire life cycle of a human. That means starting from starting from the age of its birth to the old age or the life expectancy which he has for himself jotted down that way. So what are we going to do here, or what is and how formally it is defined? It is defined as a theory that states that individual seeks to smooth consumption over a course of lifetime. When I'm saying smooth consumption, I'm saying when I'm saying smooth consumption, I'm saying a consumer is well aware of his entire lifetime, and accordingly he will be fixing the entire consumption into one bracket wherein his entire life's consumption is smoothened. And how does he do it? He basically borrows in the time of low income and then saves during the time of high income so that he can consume in both the periods approximately an equal amount. What are the assumptions on which the theory is based? One, there is no change in the price level. As always, we are just talking about the life of a consumer as well as the consumption requirement of the consumer and not anything else. Of course, the rate of interest is not being changed, because when we are talking about savings and borrowings, of course, a rate of interest plays a major role, but we are keeping it constant in this theory. And consumer do not inherit any of the assets. Whatever he is earning is the only way of his funding the consumption level. He is not consuming anything based on what as an inheritance he has got. So these are the three things or the three assumptions based on which we are keeping few things constant and hence deciding upon the consumption level at present. What is the aim of this theory? Aim is that consumer wants to maximize his utility. Consumer wants to maximize his utility out of the consumption which he has spread across the years. And then given a lifetime, his consumption is proportional to his resources, which is the income at present. How graphically we can represent it? See, the consumption of a consumer is shown as a constant line during a lifetime, which is CC1 here, starting from something on the y-axis, giving a reason for the autonomous consumption, and of course with the age or with the income level with time, his consumption requirements are increasing over the time. And then y0 y1 curve shows the income flow of the person during the time period. See, when I'm saying it's a inverted U-shaped curve, because he started with zero income and then his income increases, and after a certain point in time, when consumer thinks that he is about to retire, his income starts to fall down, and this gives the the curve inverted U shape. With the starting point of his life, that is the duration from 0 to T1, he borrows the triangular amount, this circle C Y0B, this triangular amount, wherein he decides to borrow this much to meet the level of consumption CB. And in the middle years of his life, which is T1 to T2, he saves the upper portion of his income, which is denoted by BYS. That portion of his income which is going beyond his consumption requirement, he tends to save it or to pay for his future borrowings. And in the last period of his age, which is T2 to T, he spends the SC1Y1. Either this spending goes out of his savings which he has done, or he is doing some borrowing at this point in time. I hope this graph is clear. And if I have to state this graph in terms of saving and investment, in the initial period, that is, let's say till 20 years of age, you depend on the student's loan, during which you basically have a consumption requirement of studies, and hence you take some kind of loan named as student loan. Once you start earning, your consumption is constant, and then you tend to save, which is denoted by the blue saving portion. And after a age of 65, or let's say 16 sometimes, you tend to have a relaxing life and get retirement and all that. So basically whatever you have saved during that earning phase of yours, which is from 20 years of age to basically 65, that saving you use it for funding your consumption at the time of your retirement, and hence this saving portion comes into the picture. If I have to define this, so today I will be saving this much income which is left beyond the consumption requirement. But what decides my consumption at present? It is the wealth which I have jotted down for myself and my years which I anticipate to be working, divided by the years which I anticipate to be remaining, so that I can smoothen the consumption over an entire period of time, giving rise to this kind of saving and this savings portion of my life, based on what and at what age I will retire. What are the criticism of this theory? You plan for the entire life from the very beginning, which is an unrealistic thing in itself. So you just cannot plan the entire lifetime consumption. And consumption is not directly related to the assets, Sometimes you tend to consume something which is not coming as an asset, but which may be a result of some immediate invention into the economy. For example, this we can replicate with the demand for the mask or demand for the oxygen during the COVID second phase. So you can't basically directly relate the consumption pattern with the assets which you have. And then consumption is dependent on the attitude of an individual towards life. If I'm a miser, I consume less, save more. If I'm an extravagant, I consume more and save less. So basically you cannot justify the same portion of income going to the consumption and to the saving for individual A and replicating the same set to individual B, So B is going to be different if he's a miser or different from A. Hence, you cannot justify the entire portion or the pattern of consumption for every individual. Consumers do not have the rational or do not have the uniform knowledge about what is given in the market, what is given in the market as an income opportunities. So, it is absolutely unrealistic to being a rational or a prudent consumer at any point in time. You just cannot play that for all the individuals, knowing that 65 years would be my retirement age, after that I will retire and all that. A consumer cannot be rational at that point, discussing about these many things or forecasting about these many years of life. And then of course, the variables which we have kept constant as an assumption, that price level, interest in assets, inheritance and all of that, they do play a role when I am deciding upon my consumption pattern. So there are too many variables which I am not taking into account when I am talking about the entire lifespan, and this is very hard to assume and hence makes it a criticism. So with this, I think this very small topic of the life cycle hypothesis, we can justify our theory based on the fact that these are the assumptions and these are the criticism. Based on that, how much a person is saving and how much a person is not saving or dis-saving, or during what lifespan he is consuming and during what lifespan he is borrowing, gives it a little picture more clearer than what we have in the beginning of this session. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please write back to me through an email or through the chat window here. I'm ready to solve it. Thank you very much.